between you and me. Hello everybody. We're at Bracknell today. It's their 1 year anniversary, their birthday, and it's packed. What a brilliant day.
It's busy.
Yeah, yeah. How many people do you think about through the door?
These are the numbers.
We counted like 43 on the track earlier.
Really?
When we all lined up.
Some of those are probably.
There were some duplicates.
Maybe
but...
like 40.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Which is good for us.
Nathan and Josh, you guys run it?
We do.
Yeah. Just yourselves?
Yeah. So we have myself and Nathan who kind of started it about a year ago, and then we have kind of people that we call our admins, and they're kind of people that we kind of we lean on them a little bit, you know. Like when it comes to like track layout and stuff, we'll talk to them and we'll get opinions from them and make sure it's kind of more community led than us just kind of dictating everything.
As well as when we come out with like features like memberships or whatever, we try to run it through them as like a bit of a test or a bit of a like sanity check.
Get some feelers out there kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you need people like that, to be honest with you. So you're just not just you're like on that straight path, but that's good.
It always ends up like that. I feel like anyone that owns a club is not doing it absolutely on their own. It's always about like
you need
some extras. Yeah.
Even you guys being pop-up, I guess it's a lot of work, maybe even more.
We've streamlined it. It definitely used to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rolling out carpet.
So doors
Yeah.
opened at 12 today. What time did you get?
Well, when we were
11.
Really?
We
Start at
late,
11?
like 15:15. Yeah.
45 minutes set up. And like if it was a normal night, we're up in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, normal Friday night, like 20 minutes. We don't mop it every time. Like obviously we knew it'd be busy, so we gave it a mop and gave it a dry. And we made sure that all the barriers are actually straight, so they look nice on the pictures and stuff. Yeah, on a Friday night, it's like 20-25 minutes. The track will be up, it's drivable and stuff.
Nice.
It's much quicker than carpet actually. Because when we used to run carpet, it was you have to roll it all out, and you got to take down the seams, and you got to take this and take that, and all that. And it was a nightmare. But these. Pick up the old sheets, do the old folding, and that's it. It's like it's done in like a few minutes, kind of thing. You don't tape the seams, you don't do any of that.
You just button up.
Yeah, we put a little bit of tape on the corners. I put a bit more than usual. Just because I knew people would be kicking their feet about and stuff.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's easy peasy, really.
You don't have to treat it like you might have to do with carpet.
Yeah.
Don't have to really worry about people ruining certain parts because you could just replace a tile if you need to.
It's true, I never thought that.
Not a big
I'm
deal.
still waiting for a battery to explode.
Melt.
We had a scare a little while ago. We had one of our drivers, Bert. His motor terminals, one of them slipped out, and as it took, we was like 5 of us in a train. All of a sudden, just boom, smoke.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't be panicked. Mid-train, boom, big puff of smoke, but no one stopped. It was like, what's going on?
Don't stop for that. Crack on.
He just unfolded his capacitor. Yeah, but no, we ain't had that yet.
It's scary. No, those batteries do go up as well, don't they?
I think it's safer than it used to be, but
I hope so.
we've literally had nothing so far. But we know where the fire extinguisher is.
I think it's dodgy chargers. I don't think it's people mistreating their batteries as much as it is cheap Chinese chargers.
It's a very cheap charger.
It is chargers.
Like
it's janky.
It's so bad.
It does the job. I mean, I've used it for a whole year, right? And nothing's exploded yet, touch wood. So, this. That's when someone runs in. Who's that?
Yeah, someone will explode while we're all in here.
Someone else will get it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
insert picture of exploding battery on
There we go.
So, a year now, and how did it all start?
I don't know. So me and Nathan have been friends since secondary school, like young age of secondary school. I don't know, we've always done all sorts of random business ventures and weird things together. Not like that.
Each to their own.
Don't think it like that. But yeah, and then I don't know. We were working together in a company in Ascot a few years back, and then I left the company and I kind of lost touch with him for a little bit. I don't know, how long was that? A couple of years maybe? And I went off. I had a kid as well, which you know.
Congrats.
This was like 4 years ago.
Oh,
He's not doing any more. Nothing exciting about him now. No, hopefully he doesn't watch this one. What was I saying? Yeah, I had a kid and stuff. So I got busy. He got busy.
Yeah.
Didn't say much. And then, probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, I kind of got into the hobby. We'll go back in a minute. I'll tell you more about my history with the hobby. But I kind of got into it properly, like the rear wheel drive and the gyros and all of that. And I went to a club in Basingstoke, which was, it's a nice club, you know. Well, they were. I think they're struggling with a venue at the minute, but I won't. No shade, lovely people, but they run on carpet and stuff, and it was alright, you know. It took me like 45 to an hour to drive there.
Yeah, quite far away.
Yeah, and they only run like every other week as well.
Okay.
Which when you first get the itch for this hobby, you want to be driving like 24/7.
Yeah,
And you're ripping around your lounge.
Yeah, but conveniently nearby, considering some places don't have. Some people don't have track.
Yeah. There's people up north who probably have to drive like 4 hours to go. Do like 2 hours of driving, drifting. Yeah, so I went there. I don't know, and then I felt like I missed him in my life. Something like that. Maybe I needed something from him. I can't remember. Something like that.
You didn't want to do a hobby on your own.
Yeah, to be fair, I had no friends around here that were into it. I got a few now. So I think I messaged him on Instagram or something. And I was like, "How you been? Let's get a Nando's."
Yep.
We got another mate that we share in common as well. Went to school with us. His name is Matt. He was here earlier, but he left early. He's definitely not into the hobby. But he came by anyway to say hello and stuff.
Yeah.
So the three of us went out for a Nando's, and I was like, "Look, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm in this hobby. You need,
It was surprisingly official.
you need to get in this hobby.
It was surprisingly
I'm not
official.
doing it alone, and I've got no other friends at this point, so it's you or nothing."
Yeah.
So and then we all went to Basingstoke. I think we had a good time. How many times did
With
we go
your
there together?
really jank D5?
Yeah, I had a D5. Most people start with D5.
Oh, the D5's fine. His D5.
Mine was special. Yeah.
They're all special.
Yeah, pretty much. We did some laps with that. Good fun. And then he basically said to me, he was like, "You know, we could just run a club ride. Like, it's not that hard. You book a hall, roll out some carpet." And I was like, you know what? That sounds fine. If it's down the road from my house and I get to drive like every week, then you know, what have we got to lose really?
I think the main thing was it was every other week, which just sucked, and then on top of that, I don't know, just wanted control over like how the layout is, how stuff is, not realizing actually how much effort it is to do the whole thing, but it seems so feasible.
I think a lot of people go to a club and they're like, "Yeah, I could do this," but there's a ton of work in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't realise.
Even just hall scouting took like.
Yeah, but it goes so far. Like even doing all the social stuff and trying to like drum up an event so people actually come to it and stuff. Because you know, at the end of the day, you're probably paying a bit of money for a venue, especially around like where we are.
Yeah, town
So you're paying money for the hall, and you need people there so you can get money back in, so you're not just wasting 300 quid every week, basically.
Definitely, there was a decent investment at the beginning, mainly from you. Which only like now are we starting to like properly roll.
It's working then. As a club.
Oh, it's super working now.
Oh,
We survive.
We're comfy now.
Cool.
No. Now
he does the numbers.
Yeah.
Now we're comfortable. Like a good January to June, ropey. Josh putting a lot of his own money in. Yeah. Obviously buying however many, like 20 plus sheets of p-tile. Or that's expensive.
The whole p-tile thing's probably another conversation.
That is another conversation because obviously we started off in carpet. Bought some carpet from. Was it? Oh, we bought some new carpet.
Marquee carpets. I feel like everyone knows that one.
Is that like primer stuff? I'm free.
Not the primer stuff, but it's like the other one that everyone buys.
Oh, okay.
I spoke to Marcus, if he's watching. I don't even know if he remembers talking to me, but I basically said to him like, "Hey, where's your carpet that you use for Yorkshire from?" And he was like, "Oh, we bought it here. You can order this much for this much." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Like we can, put down a bit of money, get some carpet going." And
I think we had that. We were deciding between that and then Slide Dynamics had some carpet that they were getting rid of.
Yeah.
That we were like
I think that was the pretty much
worth that. But I think their carpet was better, but the one we got was just cheaper. And how much upfront cost you're going to do when you don't even know people are going to turn up?
Yeah. Of course.
We should have foreseen really. So we did that. I don't know how long we were on carpet for. It was
November until February, March.
Okay. Not long enough given the amount of money that we spent on the carpet. But to be fair, we sold it on to another club now, which is that's Salisbury. If they're watching as well.
Nearby one.
They're doing
Recommend.
Recommend their carpet.
Good carpet.
No, they're good guys. Nice track.
And I suppose now, you've had a full year, and you say like you're on top of your finances, you've got it all settled. You know, you've paid all the big expenses out.
Yeah.
And now you're coming into winter. and winter's when we get really busy.
Yeah, the hobby definitely booms more in the winter. Yeah. The summer, we didn't really notice a dip in the summer, but I think it was just conveniently lined with us growing as a club.
Yeah, of course.
In our first year.
So we like flatlined rather than like having that dip.
Yeah,
and
it'll be next summer that gets.
You guys run midweek. You run
Friday
Friday
evening. Yeah.
Do you get regulars on a Friday that you don't on a weekend?
This is our first ever weekend in like.
Yeah. Well, we did a Saturday back
in the old hall, like.
Yeah, in the old hall on the carpet.
So
ages
it's
ago.
hard to tell.
I said, right. I said just Fridays pretty much.
But Saturday seems popular.
Yeah, definitely. People well willing to travel.
Yeah. We
For a
appreciate
decent
it as well.
Yeah.
Everyone who came out today is it's kind of blown us away a little bit. I thought there'd be like, the usual 20 people that we get on Friday kind of thing. But
The events, I know it's your birthday and all that, but last weekend I went to the ASBO takeover at MDS. It was like 48 drivers.
Yeah.
It just, the events, it's a normal day.
That's what you want.
It's a normal day, but it just...
The vibe's so
it's
much better.
getting everyone together, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the best thing about the hobby. It's like just get as many people as you can in one space.
Yeah.
Just drive the biggest trains, And obviously, like we're big fans of running comps as well, but
we'll come into that as well.
It's a separate thing.
But also, like, if people are worried about, there's too much, like, there's going to be not enough space, it's going to be really crammed, I'm not going to be able to drive properly. Like, just go anyway. There'll be so many times where you get really good laps in with really skilled people.
Yeah. Even if 40, 50 people turn up. There'll only ever be like 20 on track at most.
Agreed.
Obviously the bigger tracks you're going to be fine. You have plenty of space to drive.
But it's not small, is it? What is it? Meterage?
It's 12 by 7 at the minute. And that's the nice thing we found about this tile actually, is that if you go back and look at the pictures of when we first bought it, it was a bitty little thing, and it's nice that you can just go, you know what, this month we're going to go a bit bigger, so we'll buy some more sheets.
Yeah.
Take them onto the end and then just keep going and going.
Because the room's pretty big, you're lucky with that.
Yeah.
If you was in like a room like we're in now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
our old hall was,
That was why we had to upgrade the hall. Because we were down the road in one that is smaller than our track is right now.
Yeah.
And that, like, as soon as we pushed here, then that was that. And then Josh was like, we need it to be bigger. We need it to be bigger. And then, like, every few weeks we just bought another one.
Bigger now.
I think we're
the track is like filling the room.
It's perfect size.
Yeah.
Just get corner to corner, you're just about like the distance you could drive decent.
Yeah, it's true.
Depends on the layout. The layout helps it a lot. We recently changed it a couple months ago, and that really aids to there being enough space for people to be able to actually drive and not get in everyone's way.
Yeah, a longer layout that should kind of fit more cars.
How are you finding like layouts? Are they coming quite easily? Or do they take a bit of working out?
Josh handles it.
Yeah.
With then like some feedback from admins and
so the admin boys, they help a lot with that, but it's typically me who throws up like an initial idea.
Yeah.
And for like inspiration on that, I always look to like other tracks. Like I look to Vega, like if you look at our old layout, it was very Vega looking, and this one is like a hint towards Super G, but kind of in a smaller way sort of thing. And I always look at those and I always think, okay, given the space we have, how should we kind of tweak that to fit nicely so that it's still drivable, you know? Because like if you just took Super G's layout, that thing's like, I don't know, 60% bigger than ours. It's huge.
Massive.
We just took that and crammed it in. Not only would the lanes be tiny, but every corner would be crazy tight and stuff, and it's not worth it. So we basically take the ideas and we have like a set of rules that we apply now. And I don't know, can I mention another podcast? It's an old one. Yeah. So there's I don't know what it's called, the Pace Podcast, maybe?
RC Pace Podcast?
Yeah, from...
The Pace Cast?
Yeah, from a while ago. You know the one, I think
I know
most people have seen it. Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
Well, I know, it was, pre-COVID or during COVID?
Oh, okay.
Why do people always mention COVID in this one? Things done.
A few years ago.
Anyway, so with the Pace Podcast, so like, when we were back on carpet and we were discussing the ideas of how we could move to a hard surface, there was a lot of talk about, how can we make the layouts as good as possible. And one thing we did was, I think pretty much everyone in our admin chat sat down and watched the Pace podcast. And there's a really, really good one in there where he talks about James Simpson. He's literally in the other room. A legend.
Legend.
Hi, James.
Absolutely.
And he talks about like his favourite tracks from around the world and like things that made them good. And it's really good details, like the space between the barrier and the edge of the track.
So technical.
Like, should you have a sweeper after a straight, like that kind of thing. And like we basically watch that and we treat it like a holy grail. And it's like we make sure we're always trying to apply those rules. And Yeah, and I think, to be fair, this current layout, although I kind of enjoy it driving it for the most part, I think, you know, we did cut a few corners in a few places with it, and there's bits where now I want to change it, and I'm like, okay, should we start exploring a new layout option and stuff? But it's, yeah, even James mentioned this evening, he was like, oh, you got a bit of a, you know, a pinchy spot, yeah, and I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, James.
We have a big whiteboard now, and if someone's like, oh, just go to the whiteboard, just draw it.
Yeah,
just go and draw it.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
That's quite good. I do it in Adobe Illustrator, and I don't know if I should give this away, but I start with circles, right? And there's been many times when my girlfriend's looked over my shoulder. I work from home, right? And she looks over my shoulder and she's like, I don't think he's working. She's like, are you working? That looks like circles on your screen. And it's just me with like well, the way I do it is I make a canvas in Illustrator that's the same size as the hall. So every 100 pixels is a meter, right? Yeah. And I lay out the hall and then I just throw up circles. And I'm like, okay, so if you were going to fly around here, like what would be a nice trajectory for you to come off? And then the most important thing I do with that is I just make sure there's not too many circles, right? Because like,
don't have too many
people
circles.
know like the winds track, right? The winds.
Yeah.
It is. Like the one in Japan, a lot of people talk about how it's like super flowy and super swirly and they don't have any straights and it's like a really nice track. I've never driven it, of course, I've just seen YouTube videos. And I think that's a good example of one that would like, it would be too many circles for me. You know? And what you need on a good track, in my honest opinion, is more straights. And that was one thing about our previous layout that I absolutely loved. Was like, I mean, people probably saw it at the Modern Act stream and they were like, is that it? You know, like it probably looked boring as hell. It's just goes back on itself, comes around and basically it's a big triangle, a wiggle on the straight, background. Like it looks super small, super boring. But when you drive that, there's so much room for driver improvement. Because there's places built into it where as you come around the corner, you're forced to straighten the car. And people are scared of going straight and drifting, of course they are. But it's something in this hobby that I think is really enjoyable to do, is to straighten up the car, pick up the grip on the rear wheels, pick up the speed, and then throw it into the next bend. And that one was really well designed for that. You could come out through the middle, you could pick up your grip and your speed, fly around that kind of triangle end of it, and then you've got to make sure you're in the right place coming out of it to catch the kind of wiggle. Yeah. I called it the wiggle on the stream. I don't know what you call it. It's got a proper name, I'm sure. But yeah, and then you're back around the big sweeper and then you start again. But like I found I could have driven that track probably forever, you know. And there's other people who came to me and said, hey, look, I'm getting a bit bored of the layout. You know, we've had it however many months or whatever. That was when we started looking at adjusting it. But I think, and like with this one as well, we kind of have it as well. So like when you do the old come back on yourself and come through that middle section, it's got a kink in it. And that's kind of two opportunities to pick up grip and go straight and then throw yourself into that final. But yeah, and I think, I can't remember what my point was, but it's
the circles.
Yeah, I like to start with
circles.
Yeah. I'll send you a diagram.
Send me some circles.
Try not to spoil our next lesson.
So how did you guys end up finding RC? Obviously you found it first and then gave everyone else the bug.
So this goes back even further. So obviously as a young lad, like many people in the hobby, RC cars were like, you know, everything to me. Like I'd take them apart and, you know, destroy hundreds of pounds worth of stuff that my parents had bought for my birthday, thinking I was improving it or whatever. But yeah, and then I met Nathan at secondary school and our other friend Matt, and those guys were into it as well, you know. Like they'd been through the same thing. They tinkered as kids. Like I think Nathan's dad probably tests a lot to why Nathan's kind of into it a bit now as well. And at our secondary school, being as entrepreneurial as we were, we basically reached out to the people that run it, head teacher, and some woman, and some
the admins at our school.
Yeah, some people at the school. And basically said like, can we run an RC club, right? And they were like, yeah, like, you know, they support the innovation. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you this hall this day, you can run it. Yeah. The woman will come stand in there and stuff and watch you go around and round. Yeah. But yeah, we ran that for a few years. I don't know if it's still going.
They got super busy. It's shut down like COVID time. Not to mention.
Really, it lasted that long.
But it was cool. I think it definitely has been.
Well, we've got Naz and we got the other young chap whose name I don't know, who go to the same school that we went to, and they basically said to us not long ago that it was still running, sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not running now, but it was back for a while. But yeah, so we ran that club, and the funny thing about that club as well is we used to drive on this hall floor, and it was so dusty that pretty much everyone who had like a touring car was just doing like CS style drifting anyway. Though.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing 4-wheel power slides.
It's true.
I don't think we ever like held anything official there. It was just.
I think we did one race.
A real race?
When we were leaving school, like near the end. But it was all like touring car. Like basically, but like people showed up in whatever. No.
Yeah, there was no.
Come here and play with your RC cars.
Yeah.
You break
get
kids
with
every
like an
single
Argos car turn up.
Wire on it.
Yeah.
Basically. But
yeah. So we ran that, and drifting was kind of a part of it. And like, I was big into the drifting as well, and I've got. I don't know if I can send you like a video for you to clip.
Of course, yeah.
But it's a video, and this is super weird, alright. But I think it was in America, and it's called like ARA Drift or ARA Drift or something like that. And I used to watch it as a kid, like religiously. Like this was before YouTube, and you'd go on Google Videos. You ever go on that?
No.
Don't. It's just a weird place. No, it's on YouTube now, to be fair. But I used to go on there, and there was 2 videos on there of this track in America, right? And I think a big part of it was the soundtrack on those videos was incredible. I'll talk about that in a minute. So I literally every day I'd go and watch it, and like all I wanted to do was make my touring car drift kind of thing, and they'd all have like the sickest HPI shells, and there was this like black R32 with a light kit, and I was like, that is absolute fire. So like I was inspired to kind of do it, and there wasn't obviously back then there was nothing that was going to let a small child do that around our area or anything similar. So I think kind of as I got older, it sort of fizzled out a bit. But those videos, which you probably can't find anywhere else on the internet now.
Well,
no, don't worry.
You've got them.
I've got them.
You've got
Thanks to my dad, who's like, he saves everything basically. You know what they're like. He's like, I don't want to lose that, so I'll save it. So way back then he saved it from Google Videos, and then that was nice as well because the internet wasn't very good back then, so I didn't have to wait for it to buffer. I just had like a nice offline copy of it that I could watch every day when I got home from school.
Over and over again.
Yeah, I've so many times. I watched it the other week actually. Yeah, I've got it on my Google Drive, and I'll send you it. You can put a clip in, but for me, like that is a huge part of it. And even now, so like we have the playlist now, right?
Yeah.
In the hall, and there's tracks on there that are from that video. Because for me, like if I hear that song, that's like you got to be RC drifting. And there's no way anyone else on earth even has the association. It's so niche, but it's for me it means a lot. Like I stand in there every Friday night, and there's if one of those songs comes on and everyone's driving, I'm like, I made it. I did what I intended to do in life.
So you guys have been doing it for a year now. Have you got any advice for any of the other clubs? Anyone that wants to start a club? Anyone that's just started a club? Come on, a year. You must have picked up some tricks.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of success by not forcing, but encouraging repeat visits.
Yeah.
So we have a subscription which we then try to pack as many benefits as like possible into.
We can afford to.
Yeah. So things that cost like barely anything to us, we can try to like give to people for X amount per month. And then this means, so for example, it's a tenner to come and drive. We do a £30 subscription, so people can save a tenner if they're going to come every time.
But like £30 for the month.
£30 a month.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
That lets us get money up front, so we know like where we can start investing. For example, we have a bit of money, let's get a club car. Or this, which is flipping expensive, because we're running all day. It's like, let's
book it in advance. Kind of.
We can go like, we can, we're going to have this many people. You can actually do something with finances rather than just, I hope people come so I can pay the hall.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like little, like we do like a little shop of food and stuff, but it's like discounts there, discounts on second-hand parts,
discounts on tyres.
When you discounts on tyres and a free set of tyres when you sign up.
It's probably something that has helped us grow because it gets people hooked in. They're paying monthly. I don't want to sound horrible. Like obviously we appreciate all these people paying monthly, and we've always said you're free to cancel any time, kind of thing. Please don't cancel. But it's there and it keeps people going, and I think it keeps the interest going in the hobby, and at the same time it gives us the money to be able to expand stuff.
Yes.
We're able to invest in more tile. We're able to invest in a bigger hall. And we're able to actually grow because of those people that really kind of. And
it's a security for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know where you stand.
Yeah.
You're not thinking week to week.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's going to happen next week? Are we going to be able to put the lights on next week?
And it's not necessarily advice for other clubs, but it's like you know, we've had our subscription for, I don't know, 10 of the 12 months that we've been running kind of thing. And for us, it's helped us a lot.
It's popular.
Yeah.
Well, it makes people feel like they are actually part of a club, not just, oh, that club exists and I'm going to go there. Like if we all went up to like Roman, it's like we make a trip and we go there, right? And we like, wherever's the subscription is like, oh, you are a member. And it makes people feel like, oh, Friday, aspect. Routine, I'm going to this thing.
I think there's people here as well, our subscribers, I think a lot of them together have sort of made friends for life with each other as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge part of it, you know.
Right,
like, at the start, each one of them kind of came out of the woodwork and they were like, well, that looks cool, I'm going to pop down. And then they subscribe and they're like, okay, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going, because, you know, I've put the money into it now.
Yeah.
And these people are now, they see each other every Friday night, and then that kind of becomes more of the reason why they come here, right? Like, the driving is just, you know, just a fun thing to do when you're hanging out with your good mates.
As well as that, do you have a members only like Facebook chat?
Yeah, we do actually.
Yeah, nice.
It is nice.
It's some nice people.
Is it really?
Yeah, absolutely. And people share like nice stuff and tips.
See, we don't have that.
A lot of tips.
We have a Sliders one, and literally it's just people throwing shit at each other.
Yeah, memes in there. There's the odd meme, but we're really lucky as well with the drivers that we have. So like our first night running on the carpet in the old hall, we had Maxim come down, right? And I'm sure loads of people watching this will know who Maxim is. He's been in the hobby for years and years.
We can take a picture of Maxim.
There he is. Handsome boy, that one. No, Maxim's been in it longer than I've even known that rear-wheel drive was a thing. Like,
in multiple continents.
Across the world, driven in world championships and whatnot.
Super humble.
Yeah, Maxim is one of the most lovely guys. But anyway, first night, he popped up on our Facebook group when we were like, hey, we're starting a club here. And he was like, I kind of call myself a veteran, I might pop down. And I was like, that guy's weird as hell. What a weird dude. But I was fully like, that's going to be a weird dude. No one's a veteran in this hobby. These things to say, right? And he comes down. He comes down, right? We've thrown the carpet down. We've got our garden edging for like the.
We had no idea how we were going to do it.
Garden edging. Yeah, no idea. And he basically comes in and he's like, you got any masking tape? And we were like, okay, what for? I give him the masking tape. And he just throws down clipping points. And I was like clipping zones, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to be this angle at the start of the corner, this one at the end, and try and stay in the box, right? Yeah. And for me, it was like, boom, like, this is like, now every week that I come here, I've got something to be aiming for.
Yeah.
Because those clipping points we kept on that carpet for probably most of the time that we had that carpet.
Yeah.
And it was Maxon who came along and basically just set the bar for it. Because I think if he hadn't come along, we'd all be there, you know, having a bash on carpet like you do, and it would have been fine, you know. I had no idea what line to drive, I had no idea where my car should be, what was good, what was bad. And he literally came along that first night, threw down some tape, and I was like, that guy's weird, but this is incredible. I think for us, like, that really set the tone. Yeah. And then from that point on, we were lucky because we kind of captured Maxon and had him there week on week to assist us with like tuning and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's gonna blush if I give him too much credit, but a lot of it comes down to him, you know. Like, he's the guy who kind of, you know, if people are frustrated with their car and this close to giving up on the hobby, he was the guy who popped over and said, hey, you know, have you tried this, have you tried this? And he was in the group chat and he gave everyone every bit of knowledge he had all the time. He still does. You go talk to him, he'll give you some knowledge.
Yeah. Like, is there any way to get into this chat?
Yeah, well, say that if anyone wants to join, just say the word.
Yeah.
It's a SCALEDRIFT chat, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the non-member chat. You could just go to our page and join it whenever you want. Anyone.
Yeah,
anyone as well.
If you want the member one.
The member one,
it's just 30 quid a month. Maxim's advice is not free.
This sounds like it might be worth 30 quid a month.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. So we were really lucky. We got Maxim, and I think that's kind of snowballed as well. So like, he set the tone. Anything he said, we were kind of like, yeah, let's go with it. This, you know, that's how it should be. Let's do it right. And the same goes for Adam Gav as well. Like, a few people know him. He's not been in the hobby that long. Like, he kind of started around the same time as us, but he was like from day one. That guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah. You know. I think I agree. I'm going to go and do some research as well, and I'm going to also help set the tone. And then we were lucky because I think that is what kind of led us to doing tile. Who's this?
It's Dale. Bye, Dale.
No, Dale.
No, Dale.
I wanted a hug.
We love you, Dale.
Dale Clements. What was I saying? I missed Dale now.
Adam Gav.
So the whole thing kind of not necessarily snowballed, but I think like those standards that were set that kind of pushed us to look for hard surface, pushed us to run proper layouts and have nice clipping points and stuff like that is what captured other good drivers as well.
That's
right?
it.
So like we got, we have Rory who comes down every weekend. Everyone knows Rory, Rev D driver, Model Shop Direct driver, RC Kingstar driver, much like Maxim. But yeah, like those two guys they're here every Friday night. They're members. They come here and they just. You go up to them with a problem, they'll hand out information like nothing I've ever seen. Like, they're far too kind with it. Yeah. They could easily be, stood in the corner being like, "Don't talk to me." I've driven the world, just don't talk to me. But they don't, And like, I'm not an amazing driver. I don't know, all the incredible tuning things that they know. But I think the level that I am at now is almost entirely credited to Rory.
That's the great thing about this community is just you go and do something else, and a lot of things people don't want to help each other.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it don't matter, does it? People just want to help. They want you to be there, and they want you to have a great time with them, and that's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, everyone has a great day.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of skateboarding. Another thing which I did quite a bit as a kid, and that is, if you're out there trying to nail a trick, right? No other skateboarder is going to come up to you and be like, haha, you suck, I can do it, right? They're going to be like, hey, we tried it this way, this way, this way.
Yeah.
And it's a similar vibe as well to skateboarding in that the thing is just for fun, really, right? Like, if you're doing racing, then there's always that competitive side and stuff, and obviously we do enjoy that. But it's, at the heart of it, it's that fun aspect, and it's that help each other, get better. Because at the end of the day, if you help all the guys at your track get better, you're going to be running better tandems together, you're going to be having fun together, and it's just, it's more enjoyable, right, for everybody.
Everybody driving better makes it generally more fun.
100%.
Yeah.
So putting that time into people, particularly if they're new, whether it's helping them with their electronics, some of the geometry stuff, or whatever, or like what we try to do is like try to do some second-hand related bits so that people that might not have the money can still upgrade their cars like loads. Because people obviously like buy an RTR, which it drives moderately, but like then
that was so politically bang on. You can say it.
But then when they're like, they want to upgrade a bit, we try to at least help them like what they should buy.
Make it accessible.
Yeah, because they also see like the flashy cars that loads of people have. And then they're like, oh, I need to pay like 1,600 quid for this chassis. And then that's how we do it. Yeah. Although Rev D have now destroyed that pretty much completely. But
the X Bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is an odd hobby in the way that if you want to have a good time, you really need to just come with like full pockets and be like,
it's
even RDX, you're still gonna, if you controller electronics, but you're a grand. You're a grand.
Yeah.
But we've also throughout the hobby, there's always so much opinion on what people think. Like you need this, oh you've got to do that, oh that sucks, oh whatever. And as long as your car is driving well for you, and that's why we kind of enjoy the little bit more serious stuff. So running a competition maybe, or at least having clipping points down, so people can tell when they're driving well. So maybe
target at the end of the day.
Advice maybe for other clubs is try to make sure that people can come to your club and know if they're driving well or not. So
clipping points for
clipping points is great.
Yeah.
If people know exactly how they need to drive, and then if they're nailing it and they're keeping the wall distance and all that stuff, then they know their car's driving well. And it's not just because you fix your car from spinning out and stuff, but that doesn't automatically mean it's driving well. There's so much more to it.
So what about plans for the club? Any plans for the club? More area?
I don't know what we could say. I'll tell you this, right? We're always doing something, okay?
You're always up to something.
Well, we're always doing something. So me and Nathan, since I don't know how long ago, 8 months and months ago, near the start, we basically set up a Google Meet, and it's every morning at 10:40. Because I do a proper work meeting at 10:30.
We do businessify this whole thing way too much.
Yeah, we call it Standup, right? If anyone works in tech, they know what Standup is. And you basically do a call every morning. So we have that in the calendar. We don't make it every morning, right? Earlier on.
Every morning for this club?
To chat about,
for the club.
have a meeting, just the two of us about this club.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And we come up with, you need to stuff like that is pretty important.
Right, okay.
Especially if you're running a club with other people.
Look at how big Yeah, we have a meeting, right? We don't always make it, okay? So sometimes my kid doesn't make it to nursery and it's like, okay,
sometimes
I need
it
to do my
lasts over an
work
hour
and I can't spare the time. Yeah, and then other days it will go on for ages. And it depends what's coming up as well. So like,
meetings,
you know, this week we had a couple more because we knew this was coming up.
Of course, yeah.
And we want to make sure we got plans. I think normal humans probably just have a phone call, right? Not every day, obviously. Like that's your. But
it depends. Not all clubs have multiple people to bounce stuff off of. There's lots of clubs are like one owner. But I really recommend bouncing ideas and stuff off of other people around.
I think people don't even know how much stuff we've tried and failed at as well. Is a funny thing. So originally we were called Bracknell ARA Drift, right? And it was like a little club that sat on its own. And we, you know, one meeting one day we were like, hey, let's start like a web shop kind of thing. And we basically wanted to start a website that was like buy and sell used parts.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're both web developers, right? So like these things are just kind of, we sink ourselves into them when we build them just because we can, and it's something to do and stuff. But this one was like, okay, let's build this shop, let's let people buy and sell parts.
Because buying and selling parts on Facebook is still absolutely awful.
It's a horrible thing, but no one really wants it fixed. So that's what we had. So we built a whole platform, right?
You can search stuff, you can post your own stuff.
Yeah, we built a whole platform that was like buy and sell used parts, and it was called SCALEDRIFT. And also at the same time, we had this spin-off idea of like maybe people who want to get into the hobby, but we don't really want them to buy an RTR because they're not that great, right? Like if you buy the MST one, it's not that great. Sorry, Nathan's political statement a minute ago.
They're a bit shit.
The side idea.
You went there.
The side idea was that we would basically buy parts off this used marketplace for ourselves as well. Build these like used bundles, kind of similar to Asbo's raffle where he has like this is a used bundle, but on a much cheaper scale.
Right.
Like build these dirt cheap, ready to go things. I think also at one point we said about using new parts as well. It was just another idea.
There were new parts.
They were always new.
They were always new. Oh. We basically were replacing RTRs with our own one because we could choose better parts than like MST and whatever need to make a massive margin. We can make not much of a margin. People can buy a full working car that's like a YD2 with decent electronics we've tested. We'd build it, set it up, ship it with a shell that we paint.
Yeah, we called them bundles, and the idea
was just like it felt like a no-brainer. It's like everyone's going to buy these.
It's like a mid-range RTR.
Yeah.
Well, but some were cheaper. We had a cheaper one.
There was a D5 one, D5MR version 2 had just come out, and we were like, perfect. Like they fixed all the problems with the D5. This is a good base.
Good base, cheaper than an MST RTR. Like
and then I think it was like $550 was for our SCALEDRIFT D5 bundle.
Electronics.
It was the whole car. It had like a GT5. It had a Hobby Wing ESC, Hobby Wing motor. Like the cheap stuff that you usually go and buy once you bought the MST, and you're like, oh, this is a bit rubbish. So this was a spin-off idea we did. We sunk time into development. We built this whole thing for the marketplace. And I think we launched it out. If you scroll back on our SCALEDRIFT Facebook, you'll see like our action post.
Shout out if you already knew that we did that.
Yeah, I think. So this is just one of the things, one of many things that we built, right? And like the subscriptions and stuff is just another thing that we kind of built together and we made happen because it was an idea that we had on a call. And so those calls, sometimes they're nothing. Sometimes they're like, hey, did you buy tape for Friday? And then it's like, anything else to talk about? Not really. And then other times they're, an hour or two where we just get absolutely sunk into some crazy idea. I'm like, okay, let's try that, so not, going back to your question, any plans for the future? Not really like specific ones, but there's always stuff going on. Like there was one we were talking about the other week, and we were saying like, hey, it looks like raffles do well in this hobby. Mm-hmm. Should we explore running our own raffle? And then we set about to do research into it, and we set about thinking about how we would build that as like a website or whatever, and how we'd host it and stuff. But it's I think that's the last one. Another one that's kind of died recently as well. We had those conversations, and we decided actually it's not worth it. And we've got mad respect now as well, especially from digging in deeper for those that do run raffles. Our Lord and Saviour Dale. It's flipping hard work. I think you lot don't know what Dale gets up to when he's doing that.
Dude, have a chat to Dale about how he does his raffle, and it's just like
I think it stresses him out.
It is a full day of just work.
So that's another thing. Like obviously being in tech, we the first thing we try and do is innovate those things, right? And we were like, hey, we could reach out to Dale, build a platform for him to do his raffle. But it's like, you got to think about the timing of that. You got to think about, do people really want that?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, that was one where we were like, no, people don't want it. So we didn't explore it any further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's always stuff. Like
that one we caught early and didn't just do it and then.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
that's
like,
another
it was a
thing.
fail.
Like, we're learning from that as well. Like that whole system we built for selling bundles, that was, I spent hours building that and it completely flopped.
You didn't even sell one.
We didn't sell one. No one went on the website to list their used parts, and it was just like floppity flop, So now, it's now we talk about it more, we think about it more, and we kind of apply ourselves to it.
So no immediate plans you want to talk about, but there's always ideas.
We're working on plenty of stuff.
That's great. The system you guys have built is, oh my god.
It does.
They're still the same.
You guys see the nice side of it.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see both sides of it, where I was at the comp at Lincoln.
Oh yeah.
And fortunate enough to be, me and Sweep shared a tent that night, and that was the first time we watched it. We both sat down and was like, right, let's have a watch. And we was like, whose event is this? It was like, this is not the same thing that we just did. No. Because it looks so crisp and so professional, and the multicam and it's just, even like the, what do you call them, where it pops up in between shots, we have
the transitions,
stuff like that. We was like, how?
That's so that's the thing that like through running monthly competitions, we've been able to improve each time. And make it better and better. And like the next one, hopefully it'll be even better.
Yeah. For you guys,
come to the next one.
I'm putting a clip in of that because.
Can you put in the clip where I think is it Timmy Woo versus Andy King's final?
Let's put that one in.
Put the clip in there, and it's me and my database messes up. And this is what I mean about the horrible side. No one saw this, I don't think. But there's a minute and we're like, hey, we're having technical difficulties. And basically my system messed up and it put the 3rd and 4th place final battle as like Andy King versus Andy King. And the final was Timmy Woo versus Timmy Woo. And I was like, and it popped up on screen. And I'm there on the mic and I'm just like, oh no, there's like 50 people in this room staring at me. I don't know who's watching it at home.
That was fun.
And I had to literally crack open my database and fix it on the spot and like, hopefully no one's said, oh, I saw that you fluffed up there. But, go have a watch if you want to see.
But yeah,
all our stuff's on YouTube.
I'll put a clip up anyway because it's cracking. And I hope we get to see more of it.
It's gonna happen. Oh, it will happen.
Of course. You've put too much. You've put too much work in it for it not to be used in other platforms. In other platforms, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we want each one to be better than the last as well.
But it's going to be fun. Next year, I'm excited for next year.
It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely going to be a good year.
You're not travelling ahead, but it's alright.
Now's the time to get into the hobby if you're not.
Now's the time to get good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Right, let's talk about you guys, your cars, if you could.
You want to talk to him about his car?
Is it that one that's for sale in that bag?
Yeah, sat in the for sale box. Let's talk about Nathan's car and when he last drove it.
Yeah. When did
what month was it?
For
For reference, the other day, when was this? 2 months ago maybe? I saw him drive his car. Not only did I freak out, I went up to him and I went, how is it? And he was like, I think this is my first time on the tile, you know.
I think that was a month ago,
Yeah,
So do you enjoy more of the admin side of it then?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You could say that.
There's another part. Remember, especially today, there has not been any time to pretty much sit and drive. Yeah. And I also try to, Josh will do all of our social media, actually the posting and writing, whatever. But I pretty much get all of the video and photo content.
Yeah. And I'm very fortunate because I think a lot of people that run clubs and they run permanent venues, they don't get to drive that much, right? But if I ran this on my own, I would be doing everything that Nathan does on an evening and I wouldn't get to drive. So I'm very fortunate that when I come here, I'm like, okay, I could just leave Nathan running the actual thing while I go and drive. Yeah. And then I kind of do all the other stuff for the rest of the week sort of thing.
Massive issue, I'm my YD2.
You want some help?
In order, I can't be asked to do the geometry setup stuff that I need to.
Tuning,
and I will literally, if I get an hour free, it will just be that. And then I'll drive a bit and it'll suck, and I need to just drive and get good.
Yeah. Which YD2 is it?
The ZX.
Okay.
But like, so I would rather just, I need a car that I can just drive, not ever have to care about like geometry, really.
Yeah.
And
don't worry.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Well, probably jump on the
RC Model Shop Direct. He's coming. Don't you worry.
We had
the RDX trend.
One of our locals, but he had a YD2 for forever, and he would just stick by it, and it was never the best, and it was always mediocre. And he'd done so well with it.
Yeah.
Everyone had a little go with it, and in the end, I just bought my RDX, and I didn't even bother building the shocks. And Bert was like, "Oh, my shocks are knackered. They were so fun." I was like, "Just build them, put it on." And he was like, "They've transformed it." I was like, "You plastic RDX shocks?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, screw it, I'm just gonna buy one."
This is
I think
understand it.
the YD2, I think it's a great car, but I think it's just old now.
Well,
It's
it's
possible,
so
yeah.
much maintenance, and well, not maintenance, but so much setup. And like everyone with the Shark, they'll all agree there is so much like setup.
Bye.
But
Who's that?
I'm just gonna check the camera.
Was that Matty?
Matty is good.
Oh.
There's so much setup.
Dude, it should be thankful, you know. Guys are so like. Thank you.
Yeah.
We do it pretty well. It's not too bad.
He does it well.
Right,
Just
so
carry on
we were
driving.
slagging off YD2. I was slagging off YD2s.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like,
so like the YD2, it's or whatever chassis that's complicated,
Shark.
all the Shark stuff. Like Max has been faffing with his Shark for so flipping long, and I'm pretty sure it's like only just about now driving how he wants it to. And he also has an RDX, and it's like
You should see Maxim's standards.
yeah, okay.
I
There is a
drove
bit
that
of
Shark
that.
a few months ago, and I was like, yeah, I'd be happy with that.
But there's just so much, and then like people go, oh, I need this like infinite adjustability of the Shark, which is fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you probably can squeeze out that last like 2%.
You got to be prepared to put the time into it.
Yeah.
And I think like you run the club when we're here essentially, and you don't really have the time to put that effort into it
at all.
And RDX would be beautiful for you because
And I
You
just
could
pick
just
it up
come and drive,
drive. Don't have to worry about the rest. And then if someone's
it's
like,
wild,
oh,
really.
can I buy a pack of crisps? It's like I can just stop, do it. And it's not all this
Carry
faff.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at our club, there's like setting up, packing up, making sure like getting payments from people that need to, attempting to get people to pay for the membership, advertising.
Great idea.
That's specifically for today, but it worked really well.
Great idea. Yeah.
Running all the shop, putting everything in the fridge, taking photos so that we have stuff for social media, taking videos so we have stuff for social media, chatting to people so that they're having a good time, sort out all the music.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot.
there's so much to do
Yeah.
that I don't have the time to sort my car out. I mean, I can do it at home, but then I don't have a track.
Yeah.
So,
It's part of the hobby, isn't it? And if you don't have the time to do it, then and like so for me, I went the shark route almost. We called it the baby shark in the group.
the baby, we did the baby shark.
Everyone called it the baby shark.
What's it
because
actually called? Like the half shark?
I don't even.
Oh
know
no, the other
name.
one is full form or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it was basically like a posh YD2 bulkhead with the Rev D swishy wipers, whatever it is, and then the rest of it was shark. So like the lower decks, the upper deck, and the gearbox was all shark, and we all called it the baby shark. And I spent like a good few months tuning that. I spent months and months, and I was actually pretty happy with it. But I reached a point where like, one, I didn't want to invest anymore, and I didn't really fancy buying like that whole DDS front end, DDSS front end for your shark, because like I knew what a can of worms that was going to be for me.
And loads of money.
And I was like, I wanted to like improve and stuff on my driving, and the car wasn't quite as capable kind of thing, but like I kind of reached the end of being able to tune it from what I knew. And, like I could have leaned on the amazing people at the club to help me tune it some more, but I reached the point as well where like I just wanted to drive. So for me, like it was almost a no-brainer to part ways with the baby shark and move to an RDX, and just it's been really nice. It's nice that I just drive.
I think you made a brilliant point there as well, where when you haven't got to worry as much about tuning it, you do get to really focus on your driving.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me at the minute, and like the RDX is really suited me for that. It's like I just want to be on the track, get as much track time as possible, not just for fun, but just to get better as a driver, right?
Yeah.
To like train your fingers to do what they need to do, to train your eyes to look where they need to be.
People overlook that so much,
and
like they forget.
That's the crazy thing about an RDX, right? And God knows how they built a car that does that out of the box, but it gives people who are new to the hobby an entirely new way of joining the hobby, right?
Yeah.
Because so many people join the hobby They buy, you know, YD2, RMX, whatever, they build the kits, or they get an RTR, they throw it down, and they're like, hey, this is rubbish. And the first like year of experience of them in the hobby is, hey, I must be rubbish because this is rubbish. Or they're there like, oh, I just need to change this, change this, change this. The RDX is giving people a new avenue. It's, you can come to this hobby day one and have a car that you know is going to at least
you can put it on the store.
It'll drive well enough that you'll be keeping up with, you know, at least the other people at the clubs. And that means that these new drivers can join the hobby and focus on driving for the first time, I think, probably ever in this hobby. They can focus on driving, they can get good at driving, and then they can explore other options, you know. Maybe they do want to do these minute tunes, and you know, obviously the RDX does offer that as well, but it's, you know, that may be the point for them when they go and get the turnbuckle kit, or they say, you know, hey, I want more, I don't want to go and get a Shark or whatever, but it's, I think you're right. The RDX has revolutionised it. It's a new avenue for people to get into the hobby, and you know, it gets, you know, there's the sheep joke and stuff, and like, it's all funny and stuff, but I think genuinely, for the first time in many years, it's been changed. The game has been changed.
I mean, I imagine something similar will come out from the other suppliers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's, I welcome that, you know, like they set the tone. There was the red cat. You ever see that? The red cat?
I've never seen one in person.
No, me either. I felt like that was the first company who were like, oh, we might try and follow sort of similar suit, but I think they were too early. So.
Maybe it's going to kick other companies into having to do it.
It might do, but I mean, you know, if you talk about Yokomo for a minute, I feel like they're on a weird avenue at the minute. Hopefully no one from Yokomo watches this and don't take my opinion for anything.
We're looking for sponsors.
I feel like they're on a weird avenue, you know, like they did.
You need a Rev Diesel.
I think there was a moment in the last year where everyone went to look for like a YD2 online somewhere, and they were like, "Oh, has the YD2 been discontinued?" And everyone was like, "What the hell's happened?" You know. And I think people still don't know this, but if you go get an RD1 or a SD1, right? They're a YD2. They're a YD2Z essentially.
What? Sorry, no, the
SD1 or the RD1, Rookie Drift one.
Oh no, I don't know what that is.
The RD1 is dead. You can't buy YD2 brand new anymore.
Yeah, you can't buy
it's an RD1. Like they don't make the YD2.
They don't even make like
it's an RD1 now. Yeah. They've switched it.
No, it's
really.
They don't have one. There probably is some still stock of places, right? But as far as I know,
they don't make them at the factory anymore.
Yeah, you can't buy it factory. There'll be new ones out there, of course, but they basically did a rebrand on the YD2 and they called it the RD1. And for me, I feel like that could have been a really good opportunity for them to, you know, reinvent a few things, do things a little bit differently. You know, they could have gone like the fixed turnbuckle route on that. One that they call Rookie Drift at least, you know, that kind of thing. And obviously they had the MD1 in it, Master Drift, which is the top scale version of that. And I think they went too far the other way, and they were like, they introduced a whole new platform. And I think, I mean, there's probably someone out there who's like, my MD1's the best thing ever, but as far as I've seen, most people with an MD1 are having a pretty tough time.
You don't get any decent, we get some absolute flyers out there.
Oh really? Well,
there's two moves on an MD1, isn't he?
When you get the Keith and Jay.
I feel like he is.
He's a Yokomo guy, so
I think he's on an MD1.
I would imagine so.
I think they made a chassis that's quite hard to wrangle, given that, you know, for the last however long, the YD2 was the standard. And they went, hey, we're just going to not make YD2s anymore, we're going to rebrand them.
They like split it out into the three.
Yeah, they split it out, and then the MD1 was the big one.
Maybe it has worked. Maybe in Japan it's huge and like,
it's
no
possible,
one likes those.
But I think, you know, that could have been a really good, nice time for them to do that. And maybe they will, you know, pivot in the coming years or whatever, but yeah. For me, Yokomo seems to be in a bit of a weird place.
Sort it out, Yokomo. Sort shit out.
And you know who I am.
My first introduction to you guys, really, even though you're a year in now, was Lincoln. Mod-Naz.
Modified Nationals,
For me, that really put you guys, it was like, we're SCALEDRIFT, we're here.
Yeah.
You really came out and was like, look at what we can do. And it was,
it's funny. It's
it was
funny
such a wow moment.
You see it like that, because I think for us, that had been months of development, you know.
Of course.
And it's we were already running monthly comps, and you know, maybe we were naive, but we thought, you know, people at least semi-know us, right? We thought people were like watching the streams and stuff.
They knew us enough to invite us. Like Sweeps knew us enough to go and like, can we do it?
So I think for us, the big point where we thought we made a bit of a stamp was when we got our shiny floor. And I posted in RC Drift UK, the Facebook group, and I said, is this first portable P-tile track.
Yeah.
Something really stupid, and everyone in the comments was like, "Nah."
Oh, dude! If you go find that post, like the controversy in the comments,
I think you ruffled more feathers than it did.
Yeah, and I was too naive to like know who these people are who commented.
Yeah, we that was before we were introduced to anyone, talking to anyone. Like literally, we only knew like the South people, really.
Yeah,
and it was so.
Yeah, we did it. We threw that up, and we got a lot of comments. And I think for us, we were like, yeah, that's like we made a stamp now. People know who we are. People know what Bracknell is.
Yeah,
they do something a little bit funky with their flooring. That was us.
Yeah.
You know.
Where do you stand now? I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to go there.
There we go.
So where do we stand on this then? Yours track.
Right.
Is that a question?
Is it? Are we still calling it P-tile?
That's a big question.
It's a big question, and I don't think it really matters.
Do you want my honest answer?
Because it doesn't matter, because you go out there, you have a great time, and it doesn't matter what
that's
you
what
call
matters
it.
most of all.
But in my eyes, and I'm sorry if this comes wrong the wrong way, P-tile is almost like jacuzzi. It's like a brand name.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't spread across all types of hard plastic tiles.
Yeah.
For me, it's very much a brand.
Yeah. So
You know
there's the Japanese P-tile, right?
the P-tile.
There's Sliders,
Yeah.
there's Super G, there's Ronin.
Yeah,
Super G. Like that is the Japanese P-tile, right?
Yeah.
But maybe from our naive side when we first got it, you know, and I spent a long time researching what P-tile was, right? Like if you went on the internet and type P-tile in, you're not going to get much better.
There's
It's
nothing.
almost like they don't want you to know.
Yeah,
how.
no one wants you to know what it is, right?
Yeah. Or we're definitely not where to buy.
Yeah, don't be. It's a silly thing, right? But I went full deep into this, okay, and I did some heavy research, and I basically established that if you get American P-tile, it's VCT, vinyl composite tile, right? You see that stuff? Yeah.
No, I can't say.
That's so. If you look at GGT, the track in America, there, a couple other American tracks, they run VCT, which is, if you look it up online, I'm going to give away a lot here. I don't really care anymore. If you look it up online, right, VCT is PVC.
Yeah.
It's just pure PVC. I think it's PVC-U. It's got like no plasticizers in it, so it doesn't. It's not stretchy essentially, because you get like rubbery PVC and then you get like hard PVC, which is like around your window frame. You know, so you want the unplasticized stuff, and that is the American, what they call P-tile, right?
Yeah.
GDT will go around and say, yeah, we're on P-tile, and they run on plastic tiles that are made of polyvinyl chloride, PVC. So there was that side of it, and then I found the other side, which was this is Japanese P-tile. It has to be from this brand, and it's got its special name P-tile. You can't Google that; it doesn't come up, right? So for me, I was like, okay, if it's good enough for like GDT and it's good enough for these other tracks, I think we can explore just using PVC, right? We can go online, we can find a supplier. You know, I mean, in the end, we didn't do that. We found a friend of a friend who hooked us up, kind of thing. But it was like, if they're running on just PVC, we can drive on PVC and see how it goes. And that was kind of the heart of the idea. And then we had a few back and forths of like, is that even feasible to like roll out every week? Or
there was so much.
Is it going to be a roll? Is it going to be a sheet? How are you going to store it? And then
buying like 50 centimetre little bits and trying to like test it. Is this the right one?
I've got lots of little bits of plastic, and I basically came to the conclusion that most PVC is pretty much the same. Like, if you can go on and you can read like the actual chemicals that have gone into it and the process it's been through and stuff, but for the most part, like PVC is the same stuff. And I'll tell you one thing that confirmed this for me. So when we first got this tile, we were really happy with it, but there was this huge dust problem, right? And like, we've still got a minor dust problem, don't get me wrong, but it's, you know, dust. I'll
definitely more dust than like the Japanese P-tile.
Yeah, so you see Japanese P-tile and you're like, that thing's got no dust in it, right? It's like magic flooring. But then if you look at like GDT and you look at other tracks, and I messaged GDT and they, you know, I said, hey, do you get much dust on your track? And he was like, yeah, we get a little bit, you know, but we use this polish on it. We do this to kind of combat it, kind of thing. And it was almost a confirmation for me that like, hey, you know, we're at least on a very similar surface to what they're using in majority of the places in America, right? Because like there was, as far as I know, there wasn't any track in America at the time that had Japanese P-tile, right? So there was Super G, which was obviously the polished concrete at the time, and then there was tracks like GDT and other ones where they were all on this vinyl composite floor and stuff. So it was confirmation that you know, we've got sort of similar levels of dust that they have, and you know, but obviously, yeah, the dust war that we're in at the minute has been mostly dealt with now, thanks to change of tyre, right?
Yeah, tyres.
And like, yeah, I think that's another thing that
we have switched tyres about 4 times.
Yeah, I apologise to our members. Like,
do you think
they're
that
literally like, not another one? But
is it from the track or the tyre?
I think it seems to be mostly from the tyre. Is what we've done. So we were on,
or at least the tyre is a massive factor on causing it, even if it is from the tyre.
Yeah.
Like these new tyres don't either bring it out the tile or they don't cause the dust. Like,
I think the hint for me is that like we've had this tile quite a while now and there's no huge holes in it. And I think if you were producing the amount of dust that we were producing,
you'd have grooves.
There'd be some proper wear on it. And if you polish that thing down, it looks like brand new still. Right. But yeah, so we started out on the DS Racing LF3 because we had a good time with them on carpet.
Mm-hmm.
We set them as our control tire and we were like, hey, let's just move over. I'd spoken to a friend of mine in Portugal, Henrique, who runs a track out there. Hi, Henrique. So Henrique. And I think he was running LF3 at his carpet club over there, and I was like, okay, we'll follow suit with that because I had a good time at his club and it seemed like a nice consistent time. So we moved on to the tile and we had LF3C, which stands for carpet tire. Don't get into the DS naming things because it's funny. But we were on that, and so we're driving on the tile. Most people were saying, hey, I want a bit more slip from the tire, and if you go from 3 upwards, then you'll get more slip, right? So we went to LF5C. And we stuck on that for a bit.
Until very recently.
Yeah, literally a couple of weeks ago. But it was, even Modnats was on LF5C, and it had like dust issues, like genuine dust issues. And I think what I wish we'd kind of gone back and done is look at like those American tracks and gone, hey, what's your control tire? I'm gonna try it on mine so we can like match up and see if it is what it is.
But it's tricky. You can't always communicate.
Yeah, and it's also hard to get stock of stuff. Like if I'd said, you know, what's your tyre? And they went, DRPAs. I'd be like, great. Like I've now got a supply clubs of DRPAs. And DS have been nice enough to kind of support us from the start. You know, it was really easy for me to reach out to DS directly and say,
I didn't realise you dealt with them directly.
Well, I don't know if they do this for everyone, but I just messaged them on Facebook. And I was like, I want to buy 20 sets of LF3 to run at my club. And since then, it's been, you know, nice. Obviously, you know, things are a little bit different now, but when we started out, DS were, you know, kind enough to supply us enough tyres to have a club to keep alive and keep going and stuff.
No shops here with the stock in the T's, and now that you can actually buy them at some places.
Yeah, so recently we moved to the LF5T, and it stands for tile, right?
Yeah.
But if you read the packets, it's weird. Like I spoke to DS and I said, hey, what would be a good tyre for tile? And they're like, hey, we've had a good time on this one, and the LF5C, right? Like they recommend the carpet tyre for the tile, and I don't know why, but it seemed to be a thing at that time.
Maybe it's just a different tile.
Yeah, I mean it's different. Obviously they're driving different stuff. Like no one really was driving on what we're driving exactly. So it's
definitely no one in the UK. So like there was nothing.
Yeah, there was no.
We had so much R&D on tyres, surface, polish.
And I apologise to our members for the routes that we went through for that. Like it was literally a month on this tyre, a month on this tyre, and
it was different every time.
When you're combating a dust war, you can't be the one guy who changes that week and goes, "Is my car a little bit less dusty?" Because there's going to be 20 other cars on the track kicking up dust anyway. Your car will get covered regardless. You know? And I think we probably even have that a little bit now at the minute. You know, there's probably a guy. Covered. There's probably someone out there this evening who's driving on, I don't know, some random tyre on his rear and he's kicking up a bit of dust. And everyone's now getting a little bit of dust. You know? This is why it's a war, right? it's a constant. It's a battle. It is. But like, I mean, I've also spoken to a lot of other club owners and they've said, "Why the hell do you care about that dust so much?" Like they say,
it doesn't matter.
We get dust and we run this surface. Like, just stop caring about it and let people enjoy the track. You know.
Yeah.
And for me, like part of that is me trying to probably say, hey, our tyre is actually quite like Japanese P tyre, even though it's probably not. I could tell you more about that in a sec because I know the details of Japanese P tyre.
Handling enough P tyre, I'm not even sure the P stands for plastic.
Yeah.
Because when you break it, it's almost like asphalt.
It's rigid, yeah. So
it's like grainy, like it breaks in a little.
From what I have read about Japanese P-tile, and I went, like I say, I spent a long time.
You went down that hole.
Yeah, I went so far.
Learn Japanese now.
What I have learned, and someone's going to correct me on this, and have you ever heard the rumour that Japanese p-tile has asbestos in it? Have you heard that?
No.
You never heard that?
I don't bother looking at that anything.
People have
about
said this to
anything,
me.
man.
People have come to me and said, hey, you don't want Japanese p-tile, it's got asbestos. Right? And the truth is that, I don't know if this is the truth. This is what
Here's the controversy.
This is what I've found, right, deep on the web somewhere. What I've found is that, like, the American p-tile, our p-tile, the one that we are starting to call p-tile and giving it the name p-tile because we all, plastic tile, why not? That is PVC, like I say. But the Japanese one is PVC mixed with either limestone or, back in the day, this like asbestos stuff.
Right, okay,
right? Yeah. Or some other compound. And that's what makes it brittle, that's what makes it snap, give it the weird texture and stuff. Like if that's limestone in there, then
that would make a lot of sense. That
would
make a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing that I found whilst deep on the internet was that if you go and look at old houses from like the 80s, mostly in England as well, right? And you can still see it now. I went and did this at home. You go home, open up your cupboard under your stairs, and have a look at the flooring in there, right? And
there's your pita.
There's that precious Japanese pita. No, but there are these. You'll find some tiles. Some people are like, "What the hell are you on about?" I'll put up a picture, maybe, if I remember.
That's the blank one.
But, there's a lot of shit under my stairs. Anyway, there's these tiles under your stairs, and you'll see. Mine's like got a corner cracked and stuff on it, right? And from what I read online, back in the 80s, they like underlaid a load of stuff in houses with this like asbestos tile that was mixed with like PVC. And as far as I know, that's basically along the same lines as what actual Japanese p-tile is. From what I've researched and what I've dug up about. I've also spoken to a lot of people who have access to like Japanese p-tile, and a lot of research as well came from Portugal. So my girlfriend's Portuguese, like we go there every Christmas and stuff, and that's how I met Henrique, and I went to his track. And he has in his garage, I don't know if he wants me to tell him about this, but I'll tell him anyway. In his garage, he has like a little track for himself, and it's p-tile. But it's not from Japan, it's like a Portuguese p-tile, right? Which seems weird to everyone, but it's...
Maybe that's what it stands for. Maybe that's what the
Portuguese tile. Portuguese tile.
We did it.
Solved it.
It cracks in the same way. It's got that brittleness, and it has the same grooves, and it doesn't dust up the same way that like proper PVC, the stuff we're using kind of does. And a lot of it, the research that I found was digging into like those old Portuguese houses from the 80s and hearing about how they had asbestos problems and how like the tile was built like this way and stuff, and a lot of like linking back up because he was like, I've got this p-tile, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to basically research into that, and I think hopefully a lot of my research basically translates.
Someone somewhere is going to know, isn't they?
Yeah, I hope someone in the comments
says
like, well, he's spilling the beans, let's go, right? I'd really love to know the genuine truth, but...
The giant right, you could be the internet's in English first of what the hell.
Yeah, what if someone says,
no
what is p-tile, let us know. Yeah. There's also the other avenue, right? And this was more recent, where I was on a very strange Japanese website, the Fujitsu whatever, This is going to spill a lot of things, right? And there's a product on there, This is a company that sells plastic tile flooring, They got nice pictures of like Japanese airports, and they've got like infinite p-tile, and you're like, that looks amazing, like a picture. But it's that company has a product, and it's listed, and it's called p-tile, right? And it's the only time ever on the internet I've gone, wow, that says p-tile, and it's got the texture to it. It looks right. I can send you a picture of this as well. But it looked right to me, and that was one of the few times where I was like, okay, like I'm at least on the right tracks. And I think it has on it like, what is in this. Unfortunately, I don't read Japanese, so I can't confirm it. But if someone wants to, that's out there, and I think someone should look into it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Someone's going to be screaming in the comments.
Yeah, please do. Just correct me.
Either way.
I can sleep at night. I've lost so many hours just trying to look up what the hell p-tile is. I'll tell you right now though, right? The last few months we've been driving on our plastic sheets and we've had a cracking tire. And I think even now I wouldn't switch to anything else for now. Like we're perfectly happy, the hobby's great. We found a surface that works for us in our scenario, we can throw it out. It's going to work great for other clubs, Drift Essex, Paisley moving over to the same tile. And I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy that we found something that works, that's something that we can get hold of easily, something we can drive on, and it has the same-ish, very close characteristics to the Japanese P-tail.
In the way I see it is, if P-tail or not P-tail, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've been out there today, I've had a blast.
Yeah.
And what you've done is you've found a surface for pop-up tracks that isn't carpet, that works.
Yeah.
And it's
quicker to set up than carpet.
It's actually easier than carpet.
And I'm guessing it's somewhat affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it costs more than carpet unless you go for like the ridiculous stuff like Drift Essex had.
Yeah.
It costs less.
It's a tiny bit more, but it's not unfeasible. Like if you wanted to import Japanese P-tail, you're looking at thousands probably for whatever you want to do. And you're not going to to go every week and
they're
throw out
small
30 by 30.
So what you've done for pop-up clubs is amazing in that respect. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that you guys are willing to, you've not gone, we found the surface. Oh yeah, wait.
We had a bit of that.
We did.
Well, you're good at it. You found it. You're like, this is ours. Yeah. Let's hold on to that for a little bit.
When the club's small, when you're starting off, you think like competition is everything, and
we withheld information.
Not that we're not small now, we're still small, but thinking like, if other people just switch to this, like our special thing of our club is like, it's not that. It's
it
the
was
vibe.
our thing for like a couple months.
Why not?
It was like
you put the work in. Right?
We found these tasks.
Oh, there was a lot of work.
There's a lot of work. But we.
But now we offer it. Like you can buy it through us. You just send Josh a DM and he'll.
Yeah, I'll show you some detail any day. But we have more than that is our club now, right?
Yeah.
Like we have the amazing drivers that come by. We
Number one.
Run our competitions.
The people.
We run our websites and do whatever funky other stuff.
And that takes us back to Lincoln.
Sorry.
My first go on it, and I think a lot of people's first go on it.
Yeah.
There was only one person from here there. Other than us.
Yeah, Naz.
Shout out to Naz. Everyone else has driven the tile basically for the first time, or maybe some crossover from like visitors, but like.
Yeah, I think we'd had like Scott down.
We got like no complaints, but like a little bit of these tires, but like,
most people came up to us and said, "Hey, this is great. I'm having a good time."
I'll be honest with you, I came into it a bit like. I didn't know what to expect, and I was a bit like, I don't know, and came out was like. Fuck me, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
that's had a blast.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, it's what you want, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And at the same time, I'm really happy that we've been able to accommodate people like Maxim and Rory, who've helped our club grow initially, in giving them a place where they can drive every week and tune, ready to visit other tracks in the world.
Yeah.
If you tune for our tile, you're going to be pretty damn close when you go visit, a Japanese P-tile track.
Yeah. Is this Maxim's? This is local. This is where he drifts the most.
Yeah, mate. Maxim lives. I shouldn't say where he lives. He lives nearby.
He lives in a house in a place
near enough.
And Rory as well. Like
So
we kind of like brought them out, and then they were always like at the club when we were back on carpet anyway. Always talking about like hard surface, or they miss hard surface.
Yeah.
And then it kind of. Put that idea. We wanted P-tile right at the beginning.
From day one, of course you do. Like you read online, everyone's like, "Oh, carpet's fun," but it's like hard surfaces.
It's like the pinnacle.
Holy grail, right?
Looks cool on photos. Everything about it way more unique, particularly in the UK. So we wanted it, but we just started that research and went, it's too much effort. Let's buy some carpet. But then after working something out, and then it has been a huge turning point.
Yeah.
And like kicked things off.
And you'll know as well as I do, it looks great on camera.
It does look great.
It looks so good on camera.
It does look great.
All I see is the dust. No, the dust's been pretty good actually. Tonight's been a really good test.
Yeah, you've done great.
We got 35, 40 drivers all on this new tyre compound, and I think it's the least dust we've seen in a long time. And I think for now, for us anyway, we won't be changing again anytime soon. We're happy enough with it,
Well, we've bought some stock, so ideally then.
Yeah, and you see like Drift Essex and Paisley are moving over as well. And,
it's cool that they've started, like as them starting with their exact same surface. It's cool that we've now like solidified the tyre so that they don't have to go through all this R&D.
They might, to be fair, they might innovate more. They might come to us in a couple of months and say, "Hey, we've tried this, this, and this."
Even
and then we'll happily follow suit again, probably if it's the evidence is there for it.
And he was talking about how like he was putting the tiles together and he's done it a bit different from ours, and like there's already stuff.
Essex have a trolley for their tiles, right?
Yeah.
They posted it on their Facebook the other night, and I was like,
yeah, it's already way
why have we
better.
been like picking up our tiles by hand every week? And they're just wheeling out a trolley and just.
Well, like you get a B&Q, one of those like.
I think Andy did some mechanical handsiness and made like a flat thing with some caster.
Something actually good.
Yeah.
Right.
And they basically lay them down. Fortunately, I think they store their tiles laid down somewhere. I want to say where.
Do you have to take yours home then?
No, we store ours here, but they're like stood up against the wall.
Right.
That's actually a funny thing as well. For the last however long since we moved to this hall, our tiles every week when we come back in, they basically flopped over.
Yeah.
We used to store them behind a set of like chair rack things where you store all your chairs, right? Every week we come back and they'd be flopped over, or like they'd flopped over and someone had picked them up and moved them. But like they're so heavy. Like if you want to move all of them together, it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Right. So fortunately now we found a nice spot in this hall where we can actually store them and they don't flop over and stuff. But yeah, things like that. Things like Drift Essex now on the same tile. It's going to be incredible to see the innovation that goes beyond, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm so keen to share the information as well.
Yeah.
Because if we can say, you know, talk to us, come buy our tile, you know, I think as far as I know, there's about infinite amount of it available in the UK. So we'll sell it to you. Let's like innovate together, the whole community, you know, like it might be weird from an outside perspective that people look on the UK and they're like, wow, they were driving that weird plastic flooring thing. It's not P-tar, but I think if we come together and we push it hard enough, you know, it can be, you know, maybe something that the UK owns together and innovates, and it's a solution that works for us.
The proof is in the pudding as well.
Yeah, I think.
People come here and say about how the drivers are so good, then they shouldn't be as good because they've only been driving a little while or they don't have good gear, and they attribute it a lot to they get to practice on a hard surface, and that like the difference between the carpet and hard surface. Like people come from carpet and they generally struggle on hard surface. You must have it slide all the time. Yeah. And like practicing on a hard surface is completely different. So like making everyone better in the UK at just driving is like a really cool goal to have, and the more clubs that are running tile, the better that is.
If the whole country gets better, think about how good we're going to look at Worlds next year.
Oh yeah.
And like, it'd
sure.
be great if, you know,
it's true.
we set the tone kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, day one when we first posted our pop-up P-tile track, I did get messages from people from various other countries saying, you know, where did you get that? How did you do that? And I withheld information because I was like, hey, we got a cool thing. And I kind of, looking back, I kind of wish I hadn't. Because it would have been great to say, hey, yeah, it's from here. You should get it as well. We'll do this earlier on. We'll innovate together. And, you know, we wouldn't have gone through the tyre journey and the dust war and everything that we've been through.
The dust war.
It's a dust.
Dale, I didn't get to say bye, dude. You was busy doing the podcast. Thank you for today.
Dale.
You guys have really created something special there. I've really enjoyed the day. Thank you, man.
I love you,
such a
Dale.
legend.
Dale Clements.
Such a
I love
legend.
you, Dale.
What a legend.
So, am I right in thinking that you run RC Drift UK? The domain?
Website. Yeah, the domain,
Yeah.
I don't run the Facebook group. Okay?
Right, okay.
I would love nothing more than to become like an admin on the Facebook group.
Okay.
I would love for Tunks and the other chap whose name I don't know, sorry, to say, hey, can you help us run it or whatever. But that's a separate thing.
Yeah.
rcdrift.uk, the website, right now is essentially a singular place for promotion for everyone in the country, right?
Yeah.
I think at the minute there's a lot of, this is my club, and I'm doing this, and they cross over, of course they do, because the drivers cross over, you know, like Dale will happily promote this on the ASBO Instagram and this, you know, it's nice and all, but I think there's never been one place that is the singular name, you know, and everyone knows the Facebook group, right? RC Drift UK.
Yeah.
Probably everyone watching this is in it.
Everyone's in it.
And I wanted to do something where we kind of take that name, and not necessarily turn it into a brand, but turn it into something that everyone can look to at a singular time. It's completely unbiased, and this is just a single place.
Information based.
Oh yeah, purely information. I don't get anything from it. There's no money. There's no nothing. It's just I wanted one place where people can go and they can see. You know, there's tracks here. This is going to be on this day. Like
maybe.
You know, at the minute it's small scale. Okay, it's just a map for now. Which, you know, thank you to the people who ran the previous Facebook-based RC Drift UK directory, who kind of went out and got the information that I was then able to use to build this thing. But I want it to be more than that. I want it to be, you can go on there and see, hey, this event's this week. And
I would love that.
It would just be nice, right? And there's so much fluff on Facebook right now, and I hate that the community is so into Facebook because it's just the worst platform ever.
It won't show you events that are near you. Yeah. Sometimes you just completely miss stuff. It's awful.
You go on, your nan's like commented on some EastEnders advert, and it's like I think we need a place that's a centralised place for everything in the UK to live. And if anyone out there has any ideas for it, or they want something promoted, just message me. Message the Instagram, which is RC Drift UK.
I'll
I think
I'll
it's,
put the links in.
Put the links.
Yeah.
And if you run a club and you're not on the directory, like you go on there, you're not
you go on the
the
website,
map.
don't see yourself on the map, message me immediately. I'll put you on the map, no matter what.
Yep.
And I want it to be that single place. And I want new drivers to have a place where they can go and look out. A lot of me starting this as well, I was come off the back of Modified Nationals, where I worked with Sweeps and a few other guys, and we put together that little leaflet that I think a few people have seen. And that was kind of the heart of it. It was, there's a little leaflet that we can, hand out to new drivers, hand out to people who don't know what the hell's going on, and give them something to look at, see where the tracks are, know more about the hobby. And this website is something that I want to evolve into being like an online version of that leaflet. Essentially, it's a home for everything in the UK to come together.
What I would really like to see, and I've been pushing for this for a little while, is a calendar where all of the tracks put up and say, look, we're doing something on this date. And then for us, we don't double book.
Yeah.
Because this is so pointless, double booking.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. You might as well go, we'll just do the weekend after.
Yeah.
Brilliant, works.
Yeah.
There's a slot there, we'll just put in for that.
Yeah.
Well, let's build it, man.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever, we'll build it. Like,
it's hard with the tracks just because all the ones all around you and stuff, you're like a bit random.
Yeah.
Whereas we're like Friday night, this time, all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
The Saturdays, if there could be a thing where all of the tracks could go in a month in advance, 2 months, whenever. We're thinking about doing something on this day.
Yeah, everyone close up shop.
No one's gonna go, oh, I want to. They just do it a weekend later. It doesn't matter, does it?
Competitions even more so, because we could do, if you find like, I want to go to the next competition, when is it? Bam.
Yes, a home for that.
It's here.
And like, we do a lot of things with like our lightning talks. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the lightning talks are just little 15-minute sessions that we do on a Friday night with someone who's got experience and wants to talk about something. And we welcome anyone to talk about it. But again, like, it would be great if other clubs started doing similar things. Started having more resources where people could learn stuff. It would be great for that RC Drift UK website to be a home for that as well.
Yeah, like a blog, you could have a blog on there.
Precisely, that kind of thing. And it would be great just to kind of have it be a community thing. Like, I own the domain, but come to me with whatever you want, and we'll put it on there, kind of thing.
What about like the local B&Bs and stuff like that?
Yeah, well,
because like Mason comes our way, he like always finds like, where's the best breakfast? That's 50% of his day. He'll be like, right, where's the best breakfast? Where's the decent hotel?
Yeah.
So that'd be good, like to have like.
Let's build it, man.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what I mean. Like, let's build a tool, right? At the end of the day, where people as drivers can look at it and see what's going on, plan where they want to be.
Yeah.
It's like, and hopefully it will be good for everyone, right? Hopefully it will grow the hobby. Hopefully it will get drivers, talking to each other, driving with each other, get club owners being able to promote stuff in a single place. And I think, for me, I just saw that gap, and I thought, let's just do something, and this is
one of the many things we have, like,
this comes up in your meetings.
Yeah. This is what we talk about.
I was like lightning talks as well. It was just
that was just
a meeting one day.
It was like, we should just have like training and stuff. Also, there's like no training content. There's almost no content for like setting up your car, like how to do all this. You end up just going to someone at a track that knows what they're doing, and they help.
There's a few.
There are some.
There's videos out there, but like a lot.
Nothing
really
other
specific as well, right? It's really like I drive on this surface and I drive a Shark, and I like this degree of camber because I like driving like this and stuff. And I think there's not much beginner knowledge out there. There's not much. Hey, you want to make sure your Ackerman's not like that because you're gonna have a bad time. Like,
there's stuff for like your specific gyro setup and all that. Like, but that's not quite the same.
So you've brought out your driver rating as well for your when you do your comps. Is that something that you're gonna push and keep using?
So on our website, there's like a list of everybody that's been in a competition that we've listed.
Yeah.
We try to just list all of them.
Anyone who's like running competition through our system that we've built, you know, through the streaming and stuff.
And some extra stuff.
There are extras. Like we would love it to be a place. Again, like, I'm talking about centralisation stuff, but it'd be great for other clubs to say, I ran a comp. Here's like a battle sheet. Because all we need from people is who battled against who, right? And there's quite a bit of controversy around how we do the ratings. Because there's people who come to our monthly comps, they've driven, they've gone home, checked their score and gone, oh, I've gone down. Like, well, how is that possible? A lot of people think, if I drive in a competition, I'm going to accumulate points and it's just going to forever go up. And this is a thing that we talked about for a long time, many morning calls, was how can you do it in a way where so-and-so doesn't just shoot off into the stars and be unreachable.
He's done all of the comps.
He's competed in everyone, he's always done really well and he's just up on the moon. No one's ever going to reach him, right? New driver might come in who's incredible and starts winning loads of comps, but it's going to take him forever to get there. So one thing we did, and I credit Nathan mostly to this, is he basically figured out what's a sport that's kind of similar to what we do and has like a really good scoring system, and he landed on chess. And if you think about chess, this is really clever, right? Because chess is 1v1, a bit like a battle. Car v car. And they have chess tournaments, which kind of run in similar formats. They're 1v1. And the chess community also has an incredible scoring system called an ELO, right? ELO rating system. I don't know if many people know of it. But essentially the way it works is, oh God, you might have to go into this. I've forgotten.
Pretty much.
It's a very small bit of code that we wrote, essentially.
In chess, you can obviously have draws, so we just ditched draws, which don't really matter anyway.
Yeah, they're won more times in this hobby. You always end up with a winner.
In chess, you do get some points for draws, whatever. But generally, the way it works, and you can kind of see it on the website if you click on someone and then see the battles that they've done. You basically get points depending on the difference between your level and the other person's level, and the level is dependent on their point qualifying. No, sorry. So if someone at 2,000 points goes against someone at 1,000 points and wins, the 2,000 points will get a lot less than if they played someone at 1,000. It'll basically take
a few points off that lower guy. Whereas if someone who's really low down ranking beats someone who's really high, they'll take a ton of points off that guy up top. They'll knock him down, right? Because he should be knocked down. Because he just lost against someone who's not very good, right? And it basically keeps everyone sort of middlish. And you still get a top guy, and you can still have people that shoot off with really high scores, but all it takes is one new guy to come in, disrupt it, and the whole thing will be flipped on its head.
They also, one person can't escape, because as they are escaping, they're earning less and less points because they're beating people lower.
So if you win week after week, you're probably only beating guys that are just by you kind of thing. Your score's not going to go crazy high. And a lot of people think that's a ridiculous way to do the scoring thing. A lot of people said to us why doesn't it just add up points? And that's the point of it. It's that it's going to last forever, right? If we ran a tournament of some sort that lasted a few months, it would be fine because it would reset if you just did points, right? If you everyone kept accumulating points, you'd reach the end of it, it'll reset. The next year, everyone's back at zero. This is a thing that we want to live essentially forever. And we don't want
to reset at the end of the year.
There's no ever reset.
We'll just keep adding battles to it. Because all we care about is battles. We don't even care about where you finished in a tournament. Because all it needs is a battle. It's who did you go against at this time? And where were they at that time in the ranking? And then we calculate the score.
But if you do win a tournament, you most likely won more battles. So you probably got more score.
You do get more points if you do well in a tournament, of course. But it's gonna hopefully last forever, right? And we don't want to be doing maintenance on it. We don't want to reset it every few months.
No.
And so
it's done there. It's out. All we have to do is feed it battles. And it only works though if we keep feeding it. So right now, it's only just started. Everybody starts at 1,000 to kind of put people in the middle. And because people are put in the middle, it kind of ends up a bit weird. So you come in someone new who could be worse, and then until they do a few battles, they don't get to where they're actually their actual level.
And this is why as well we want so many of the other tracks to start sending us their battle data. Because we want to build this thing out to be as good as it can be and have as much data as it can be. Because the more data we have, the more true that score is, right? So that's the other thing as well, right? Is we're not just doing this for the sake of it. We want people to see their score. We want people to see they're improving. We want people to hang around in the hobby and appreciate where they are and have somewhere to aim for and stuff.
We just want to add that's a little bit serious edge. which maybe some people don't want it to be too serious, and we don't want it to be like super serious. We don't like force it every single like night, like we do a comp like they do at like GT or like the other cars. We want it to be. We just want to add a serious aspect so that if people really want to take this hobby the whole way, they want to go pro, they want to get sponsors, like we're offering them a way to go, here, look, this driver's really good, or they can prove themselves by either winning competitions or like even just their rating, and that's like a massive part. For example, at the top of the rating now, good drivers. Like there's been enough that the people are at the top, and he's at the top. I think like Timmy's like
he's number one for now. But it can change any time, right?
The people who are good at driving are at the top. Yeah. So like
they are the UK's best drivers. Like,
and the more battles we get, the more that's accurate.
As far as battles go, obviously there's drivers out there who don't compete, and they're probably also the UK's best drivers, but they
But we're just adding that. That serious.
The other aspect of it as well, and why we wanted to build this thing is it's to have that rating, right? So every competition you go to, they do qualifying, and so many people hate qualifying. And
they definitely hate watching qualifying.
They hate watching it. But one of the early things that we said about this driver rating is, hey, this could be a way for us to skip qualifying, right? Ooh. Because
any club can skip qualifying, not just us.
And that's great for us, where we try and fit competitions on Friday evenings, right? We've got 4 hours in this hall. We've got to try and get a competition done, one a month. And we're not going to switch immediately to this system because, like I say, it needs to grow. It needs to mature. But in the future, hopefully, if the data can mature enough, we'll reach a point where that table, the driver rankings, is close enough representation of if you were to run qualifying in the grid with those drivers, and we can just skip it completely.
Wow.
And a lot of people are going to be upset by that, I know. There's a lot of stuff in the sport about how you perform in the day and stuff like that. But for a scenario where we need to run a tighter comp in a smaller space, it's a way to do that, you know. And there's potentially a new way for the sport, a new direction for the sport, if you will. Because it's, you know, traditional drifting, there's probably many ways that they run competitions in the real world anyway. But this is an avenue that we think could maybe provide a new type of competition in the UK. You know,
there's no reason,
no qualifying competition, a mini comp or whatever.
No reason like you can't.
So much quicker.
Yeah, it makes it so much quicker.
You're in the room. We pair you up for your battles based on your driver rating. We run through battles, which is the sickest bit of the night.
Maybe you can do 2 sets of battles, which everybody loves.
Yeah, that's another thing we talk about a lot is double elimination, which blows my brain, but Nathan understands it. And that's
you get 2 chances.
You get 2 chances.
Yeah, you basically get to fall out twice, but it's like another avenue that we might explore in the future.
There's a lot of purist people out there that like do not want to change anything to do with tournaments, even in the slightest. They want to match real life, even though real life is varied depending on where the tournament's happening, but more or less. They want to match it exactly. But like, you don't have to. Yes, we always will, and if there is like ever something super official, it would always be the official way. But why not run like some cool side, like comp, like whenever the ones at Ronin, like that happened just last weekend. They're like they're taking it seriously, obviously, but it's like it's fun.
Yeah.
So like you can like why not just make that fun even more fun? Yeah. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be. We don't need to be strict on it.
Yeah, and there's avenues out there, you know, like. Nathan especially comes from a few years of, do you know? Yeah, but Nathan's essentially, can I say this? Are you going to be upset?
Can you say it?
I'm saying it. He's played with the top people in the world, right?
Oh yeah.
Played with the best people in the world.
Oh, okay.
So like he's known as League World. And he...
Right.
Here we go.
But yes, I mean, like basically, like you can definitely take an esports approach. This is loads of this, and this is when it's like the double elimination. Like in esports, they perfected having fun. It's all about having fun.
Yeah.
There's like serious stuff, but like they want it to be cool, and they want it to be really cool to watch.
Yeah.
And people want to watch battles. And how much better is it when like, it's 2 people battle, one of them loses, then that loser goes all the way through the tournament, all the way to the very end of like the losers bit, and then has a chance to like redeem themselves against the guy that everyone like has been winning the whole way across. And then you have this awesome like comeback thing. The crowd loves it. Like that's awesome.
Yeah. So Nathan comes from doing that, right? Being one of the best players in the world. And there's formats there that we can.
Every time you say that word, I'm going to bleep it, so people don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, definitely do that. Please do that.
So what does Nathan come from? Go on, try and tell him.
Try and tell him.
Tell him what it is.
please.
You gotta like blur his mouth.
censoring
It's gonna
me.
censor his mouth.
Stop censoring me.
But yes, go check out the rating system. It's on scaledrift.co.uk.
Yeah.
Like,
also, while you're on there, go on.
And if you own a club that has done a tournament at any point in the last like 6 months, please send us your battle sheet.
Yeah, please do.
Because there's so many of you that have done that, and then we're like, can we have the battle sheet? And then you just don't. Or we didn't even know you existed.
It's fine if you don't want to.
Oh,
it's fine as well.
Okay, fine.
But it'd be great if you did. It would help the thing mature, and I think people would see more value in it if it matured as well, which would be great.
I think this will be great because one of the hurdles you might be facing is people have no idea how much you guys love data.
I hate data. Don't do this.
I can guarantee you that Scott's gone. He's probably seen your message and gone, "What?
Meh, yeah. Why do they
Why do you
want
want
that?
that?"
Well,
Now
you know.
Now they know.
Yeah.
Good.
Also, while you're on the SCALEDRIFT website, no one knows about this either. It's another little thing we built. You go on Marketplace, there's a button, and we scrape all of the UK shops. Okay, we scrape RC Kit Out, Asbo, Pace.
It was Slide Dynamics.
It was Slide Dynamics.
Rip.
Yeah. We scrape these websites, and we've all been in that scenario, right, where you're like, I want to find a part, and you're like, I'll go check on Pace.
Yeah, or maybe I'll get a better deal on this other
check on
site.
Asbo, right? On SCALEDRIFT, you can click on Marketplace. There's a search bar. You can type in there whatever you want, and it'll search across all of the websites and just show you what's there.
And you don't buy it from us. Like you see the
you
product.
click a button, and it'll open Dale's website. It'll
Takes you
open
straight to
Pace.
Asbo to buy it, and then you don't have to
It's
search
completely
on their
unbiased.
site.
If you search YD2 Knuckles, you'll see the same knuckle on there 5 times, right? And that's because we
All
are
prices.
showing individual shops all together, okay? And I think this is a tool that I use all the time, right? And I think people just don't know it's out there.
Not a clue.
Yeah, we shouted about it.
Did you know about this? No, not a clue, right?
We shouted and we were like, hey, we built something really cool. This was one of our things. Like we spent a week just
built it cool,
knocking that
flopped, but we still use it, so we kept it up.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
we use it. I use it all the time. If
I
I'm
mention
buying
it
a
to
part,
people,
I
they
go
don't
check
know.
there first because I don't want to go looking
makes
across
sense.
5
You just
websites.
see the cheapest one.
Yep.
And it tries to be up to date. Like, definitely if you're looking for a part, check it on there.
does it show if it's in stock or
Yep.
in stock?
Wow, it did.
Oh, my version did, and then he
We had a
rewrote it.
really big, epic version.
Because some
This
things
is-
are in stock and some things are
Yeah.
they're in
Oh,
stock.
yeah, but as soon as you click to go, like, you see the cheapest one, you
You'll
click on
see
it,
it.
you go to Asbo, and if it says back
You're
order,
only
then you
one
just...
click away.
Yeah.
So we used to have a version that was, it told you the stock, it told you it was on back order and all this, and it was flopping so hard, it was costing us money to run every month as well. We were like, okay, let's just simplify it so we can keep using it.
Yeah.
I think if people out there are like, hey, that's actually really cool, build this feature into it, it's another thing we'll expand.
We purposely haven't expanded it because it hasn't taken off. If it takes off,
Yeah, please just use it. It's there to use.
Well, yeah, for sure.
People say to me, hey, move that to the RC Drift UK website. I'll do that as well.
oh yeah, true.
That would
It
make
doesn't
sense.
need to be a
That
scale
would make
drift
sense.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and obviously we built that before I was even thinking about the RC Drift UK stuff, but I think it would be a
And
good
we make no money out of it. We like our submissions.
It costs us money.
Yeah, it costs us
That's
like pretty
fine.
much everything.
It's a
We
tool.
make no money out of it.
It's a tool that we use.
like this entire hobby.
It's our day job to build websites and stuff. So we do know how to do it in a way that doesn't cost us silly money.
Yeah.
Like, we're very fortunate that we have that ability.
Yeah. But anyone like another massive thing, not to constantly like shout out or whatever, but if anyone has any ideas or anything that could just
Keep
help,
yourself.
anything that could help that you guys see, tech, like production, literally anything, just
Photoshop
reach
and
out.
stuff. Just say, I'll
Yeah.
happily edit some imagery or
Yeah. Oh, I want to send out flyers to like all the clubs. Oh, I want to do like this. Oh, it'd be really cool to have a website that does this.
Oh,
Literally
can
just
you make us a
message
logo?
Josh,
Yeah.
Josh or the SCALEDRIFT account or whatever, and we'll chat about building it. We need like another.
Whenever.
We've got to do it again.
Of course. No,
We'll do
this
it
is
again.
not a one and done. This is.
See where we are in
We'll
6
be back.
months and all the cool
Yeah.
things we've done, and then we'll do it
You
again.
might have some more
We'll be
news.
back on carpet.
We will definitely have more news.
We'll be on
back on
carpet with silver
Look,
dots.
Josh will
Let's
have bought
go.
genuine Japanese p-tile.
No,
We'll be-
there's no way. I'll be under my stairs with a chisel trying to get tiles off the floor.
Right. Thank you guys. Been a pleasure.
That's no good.
What? We do want.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for having
you.
us.
No. Cheers.
It's been a highlight of my night.
It's been brilliant. See you soon.
Been
See you
good.
trackside soon.
Bye bye.